Hey, Eric. You're muted, Eric.
Hey,
Hey,
how's that?
wonderful.
I'm over in Northampton.
Oh my goodness.
I'm about to be a grandfather, so I'm sort of sneaking this in. This meeting.
Any minute now?
Not clear. She's been sort of laboring for 30 hours, and you know, she went from the midwife place to the hospital. I think she's gonna have a C-section, but I don't know that. Beezy's over there now, and I'm, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're trying to keep a distance too and let them do their own thing, but at the same time, we're a little freaked out about the whole situation.
Of course.
But you know,
At least you didn't have to drive in a snowstorm to get there.
that's true.
That's what I had to do to find my, to be there for my grandson's birth.
See, there you go. It's
Yeah.
always something worse.
Which would have been okay if that semi truck hadn't jackknifed in the middle of the freeway.
Oh, yeah.
There's Melissa too. Great.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, Melissa.
Oh, hang on. I
Hey.
can't hear you, but I got to turn my speakers on. Okay, say that again, Becky.
Hi.
You're muted.
No, I'm
No,
not.
you're not.
No.
Why can't I hear anyone? Hang on one second.
Can you hear me? No. Linda can hear me.
All right, now I can. Apparently, I was using another speaker at some point and didn't change it back.
Good troubleshooting.
Well, it was the only option to choose.
So it always makes troubleshooting easier.
Yeah, maybe. But if it didn't work, what was I left with? You know?
Yeah, right.
Right. Shelby, I'm just bringing the agenda up here. I'm working with two screens finally again. Okay. All right. Shall we call ourselves to order? Becky, we lost you.
We shall.
Okay. All right. Let's look over the agenda. And I know Becky usually helps us if there's anything else extra, but I see public comment followed by review of minutes, letter from the SB Select Board requesting Mass Energy Insight access, review town electrical aggregation proposal, review 2 PAFs, clothing bin MOU, job description for admin secretary, town administrator updates, election warrant, and then our vote on early voting. Anything else we need to add or subtract, Becky, that's popped around in the last 24 hours?
The PAFs aren't ready. So we'll put that on the next agenda.
Okay, that sounds good. Easy enough. Okay. Shall we open it up to public comment? Eric, did you have any thing you wanted to add, or Linda, to the agenda?
No, I have none.
Okay. All right, so I will open it up to public comment. Becky, or does anybody have public comment? Gail, do you have a public comment, or I'm assuming you're for one of the other options on the agenda? Okay. All right, well, hearing no public comment, shall we review the minutes? Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of July 19, 2022?
So moved.
Are there any edits or any questions or anything? No? Okay.
No, I think they were good.
Linda, we're going to miss your minutes.
Really.
All in favor of approving the minutes for July 19th?
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from July 21st, 2022?
So moved. No, July 19th. No, I'm sorry. That's what I just did.
21st.
Yes, 21st, you're correct. Yes, so moved.
All right. I'll second that. And is there any edits or questions or anything related to those? No? All right. All in favor of approving July 21st, 2022 minutes?
Stalker, aye.
Big piece O'Neill, aye. And do I hear a motion to approve July 26th, 2022?
So moved.
I'll second that. Any edits or adjustments needed at all? Feel good?
I don't think so. I think they're good.
Right, and all in favor of approving the minutes from July 26th, 2022?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay. And Linda, thank you again. And Becky, thank you again for those great minutes.
Welcome.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, and then we have the letter for the select board requesting energy access. Sorry, the energy. Let me start over. Becky, I just actually sent a couple of edits your way. I did it 2 minutes ago, if not less than that.
Should I bring them up or can you tell me?
You should just bring it up. These are just my suggested edits, attached to them necessarily, but I just thought they might make sense. Do you see it, Becky? I can also toss it up.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with getting. I needed a new window. Can you see what I'm? Can you see
I
what?
can see the first draft. Yeah.
Okay. So here is your edits, and are they on the document?
They are. Mhm.
Okay. So,
I did them with not knowing if it had to be in a specific verbiage or specific way. So, you see it?
yeah. Should I stop sharing?
What are the
Can I
edits?
share both of them?
I don't think you can.
Okay.
What were your edits, please, Melissa?
Well, I took the bottom paragraph and put it up with the first one, and I put the list of names after the authorization to access. Here, Becky, I can share it. I have it right here.
I got it. Hold on. It's just I had the other one up. I had to take it down. And
Oh, go ahead while we're waiting.
I didn't create this document. I simply used the form that was provided on the site and plugged in the names that are particular to our case. I don't know that changing the order is going to change anything to do with.
I just thought it just looked a little more professional and was a little bit more,
Yeah.
flowed a little bit better. That's all.
all right, so this is the new one.
No, that's not the new one.
That's the old one.
Oh.
I was gonna say, what's the difference?
Here, Becky, I have it up on my screen. Give me a second. I'll toss it on.
Hold on. See, I can't tell from, is this the old one?
Mine says edited before it. So if you go into the email I just sent, it should be there. I didn't save it to the original document just in case you wanted to use it. And I didn't know if it would change it if it was from someone's.
Why don't you put up yours? I'm sorry. I'm not finding, does yours say revised?
No, it says edited. Can you give me co-host so I can pop it up?
Yeah. No, I can't tell the difference when they're so little.
Screen number here,
Like one of those Where's Waldo things.
right?
You're looking
wanna
at
Let me get rid of my ribbon. So this is all I did. I just reversed it so that it flowed a little bit better, I thought. let me get, hold on. Some people don't like this particular way of looking at it. So hang on once again. There we go.
I have no problem with the revised version. I frankly had no problem with the first version either, but either one's fine with me. I mean, this one's perfectly good to me.
I think it just polished it up a little bit, but I do understand Gail had taken it from the form, because otherwise, how do you know what information to include? Right,
Yeah,
so it's standardized. So
I mean, I didn't just make stuff up.
no, I don't know you. I know you didn't. It's just I was reading through it. It just made, to me, it made sense to ask what we wanted and then who we wanted to have it. That's all.
What's at the bottom? I can't see the CC or the PDF.
It's all the other
Yeah,
stuff.
okay,
that
good.
is on
Okay,
there.
yeah.
In fact, I'm going to move this one up a little bit so it doesn't get cut off with any printing.
That's because that's required that the PDF be sent to Mark.
Yeah, I just flipped it around. So
Okay.
anyway, do we have, I don't know, Eric, if you feel this one's okay, or if you prefer. The
This
other.
is fine. This is, so I want me to make, I move that we accept this version of the letter, and that's my motion.
Okay. I'll second that. Any edits or questions from anyone? Okay. All in favor of approving the letter to grant access to Shutesbury Energy and Climate Action Committee?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Becky, you'll make it all pretty with the seal on it and all that.
Yep, and I'm saving the correct one that says edited. And I'll pop in the thing and I can use Rita's stamp, so if she approves it, I'll talk to her and make sure she approves it, since she won't be back until next week.
Okay, sounds good. So we're on to review of the town electrical aggregation proposal.
And I'm not sure how you want to structure this conversation. I know that the select board said they would talk about it together at the next meeting. So it's on the agenda. I don't know how Rita feels about this issue, or if you. So Eric, why don't you jump in?
Yeah.
You're a big.
Well, I don't know how
energy
Rita
guy.
feels either, but
Why? We're not allowed to know. We're not allowed to talk.
I know. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
A couple of things I noticed. I mean, first of all, I think it's a generally good idea for sure. I had a couple of questions.
Okay.
One was why in the examples in the PowerPoint, there was, I think, the town of Conway and the town of Northfield, as I recall, and they had different rates. I wasn't just quite sure why that was. Like, why? I mean, we all pay the same electrical rate, don't we? I mean, every
No.
city, no?
No.
And distance is included and all that stuff with delivery, and it's quite an algorithm. Go ahead.
Gail, what do you have to
Two
say
different
about that?
things. The ones that are quoted, they were based on something, a Metro source. Most of Shutesbury is National Grid, which already has a basic higher rate than Eversource. But the different rates that you saw there were depending on the service. So if you wanted just the basic rate, it's a basic service at one rate. If you want to add solar to some extent, it's a higher rate. If you want to go totally green, it's yet a higher rate. So the point is to give the user the choice of the service and the attendant rate.
No, I understand that, but within the different towns each town had that rate structure that you're talking about, but they had different rates.
That
for this.
that depends on what the town negotiated with that particular
Okay.
consultant.
Okay,
So the Conway was apt to get a really nice rate.
right. It just seemed like, yeah, it seems fairly significant difference.
Yes.
So, well, just note to ourselves, that's something to consider, is to get, if we had someone negotiating rates for us, you know, gets competitive. There are people that do it better than others and so forth.
Mhm.
The other thing that I was curious about, and I couldn't see it on the PowerPoint. I believe I've seen at some point one of those similar rate structures that had a choice of leave things as they are. That was choice number one. Choice number two was, I can't remember what it was, and choice number three was green power, non-fossil fuel power. But there was also a clause in one of them, in the one somewhere I saw it somewhere, one of the things that was displayed. I couldn't find it in the PowerPoint. I think I had 4 choices, and one of the choices was fossil fuel, no fossil fuel, but fuel that was energy production from non-forest, clear-cut forest solar power. That was one of the options. And it didn't seem to me that, maybe I read it wrong, I can't find what I read, but it didn't seem to me there was an option for the non-fossil fuel where you could include any kind of non-fossil fuel. And it sort of seemed to me that what that was doing effectively was sort of saying you could keep the rates the same as they are now, which includes nuclear power and fossil fuel. So the town is sort of tacitly endorsing that, if you will. But you couldn't be a non-fossil fuel person that included industrial solar, so-called. Maybe I'm just wrong about having seen that, but does that make sense to anybody?
I thought I
Yeah.
read that, yeah.
That depends on what the town chooses to decide to negotiate. So Conway, for instance, made an agreement among all those 13 towns on that particular contract that they want no fossil fuels. That's a given. So that's not an option at all. So the 3 choices would be the basic service without fossil fuel. The next one would be how you add solar or sustainable. But that's up to the town to decide the baseline really of what kind of contract they want. And it's been suggested that one of the provisos be made, what you just mentioned, Eric, is that not only solar, but solar that has not cost clear cutting in a forest. So that it be from some open field someplace or some brown field or something like that, but that be specified. But that's up to the town to choose to define in their negotiations with the vendors.
Becky, I saw your hand.
Yeah, so Gail, who do you imagine will be doing the negotiations?
My
What role
guess,
will the Energy Committee take?
who on the committee?
I'm just wondering what role the Energy Committee sees itself taking.
We would probably point to a consultant, and Nate's been talking with the man who did the Conway 13 community. So that would be our provider. He would go out and negotiate, but he would negotiate in the terms that the town has decided.
And how would the town decide that? Who is
That
the
would-
town?
That I'm not clear on that. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I think that would be part of the vote taken at the special meeting, first to go with this or not. And if so, to establish a baseline. That could be worded as a separate thing. I guess there would have to be a different warrant article, right? I mean, one would be the warrant article that was proposed.
I mean,
Let me get back to Nate and have him ask the folks who did the Conway thing, what their experience was. At what step does that take place and how?
Great.
I mean, I guess what it boils down to me is that in terms of and obviously I can't decide this, the town will, but it seems to me that the town might want to have an option of non-fossil fuels, period. That's an option. That's option number one. And that can include industrial solar and clear cutting and whatever you want to do. And then if there's, I'm perfectly fine with the town having an option that says non-fossil fuel and non-clear cutting. That's fine. I don't have any objection to that. But I think there should be I'm just trying not to make sure that isn't just sort of slid into this thing as like a, you know what I'm trying to say.
Who makes that decision and at what point?
Right, that's the
Yep.
question.
Yep.
And my concern is, yeah, because I guess I'm trying to figure out if the ECAC has a bias against industrial solar, if they're going to be making decisions for the town, enacting that bias without support from the town.
What does that have to do with the community choice?
No, it's just how those decisions are made. So it came forward in this as an example, but because we're going to be looking to the Energy Committee to make recommendations on various energy projects. And that's why we just want to know how, when you guys recommend something, how does that decision get made? And
Oh, at the committee level.
yeah, well, not just at the committee level, but when you bring them forward to the town. I guess there'll be town meeting votes.
But that is the question. Is it a town meeting vote?
Right.
Yep. Not only does a town meeting choose to go with community choice or not, but if they choose to go, what are the parameters of any kind of service or contract?
Right, and I
Is
think also what Becky, and this is kind of what I'm hearing, Becky, and I may be hearing it incorrectly, is that if an option is lower cost that includes industrial solar, will it be on the list of options?
What are you calling
Equally-
industrial solar then?
Where they happen to clear cut a few forests to put up solar panels,
I see.
whatever that definition is, which is ever changing, seems like. But so if say, the lowest is something that includes that, and would it be on the list as well, equally to those other options? I think that's what you're asking, right, Becky, that it would be equally vetted?
Yeah, my thing is just, I would just like to make sure it's not excluded.
Like, and one question I have, and I'm worried about this, is how does this affect those people in town that have fuel assistance, because they also get electrical assistance. Right now, National Grid works really well with fuel assistance. And they accept it. Would this also accept fuel assistance? Right, so we have to think of those people in town that have that for their heat and their electricity as a question. So how does that affect them? And if someone doesn't want to do this and wants to stay with National Grid and what they have,
That's fine.
willing
That's-
option.
yeah.
If
And they can opt back in or out anytime they want. So one of the features of this system is that there's a uniform fee for the period of the contract, as opposed to National Grid, which has a summer fee and a winter fee. So when it changes to a summer fee, you could compare that to what this contract holds and say, no, I want to stick with what I have and go back. And then when it changes to winter, if it's to your advantage, you can play it to your advantage either way.
Yeah,
But
I
no
just want to
penalty.
make sure that people can make their own decisions for their own family and for their own principles and such. So,
Right.
but I'm worried about the fuel assistance, though. I don't know if
That's a good question. Yep.
That's
And I
a
know
very
it's
good
quite
question.
quite a few in town that have it, and certainly with COVID and inflation, more people have it.
So that would probably be a question to ask any of the vendors that would be approached by the negotiator. Would you or would you not accept the fuel assistance program that's now in place under National Grid? Yes or no?
Right, and then just an example, I know they were giving out $1,000 per household over the last year of COVID lockdowns. So, or whatever, however they figured it out. The couple people I know got $1,000 for their electric bill, off their electric bill for the year.
From National Grid.
From fuel assistance, but National Grid accepted it. And there's a low income discount on National Grid already. So if you're under a certain amount and you apply, National
Right.
Grid gives you a discount on your
Okay.
electricity.
Is that true also for Eversource?
I don't know. So I don't know. My mother and my grandmother both had that discount. And it was almost $14, $15 a month that was discounted because of their low income.
But that's a good question to ask in terms of the negotiations with the vendors. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Community Action might be able to help you let you know who they already work with. Maybe they're already working with the one in Conway or, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just my concern.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my general concern is just, I think people should be able to have a wide range of options that would include really different things. It might include industrial solar, which is not the most popular thing for some folks. And fine, if those people don't want to do that, that's fine too. They can opt for their thing. That's fine too.
Right.
But I think that both should be available. That's all I would say.
I'm curious though, how you would define industrial solar. If you go out and ask vendors for solar energy and don't ask where they get it, is that industrial solar?
I guess so.
I'm thinking my personal one would be that there was that option that defined it as solar the ones that were in the areas that didn't cut trees, right? So if that's an option, then the opposite should be an option.
If you say that the solar producer has to be in the area, you are going to narrowly restrict.
I didn't say in the
that.
area. I didn't say in the area. Just you know, if it was from as an example from, like, say, I'll give an example, and I know it can't be local, but from Wheelock versus one of the solar farms in Hadley that's in a field. I guess that's the, you know, maybe industrial is not what I'm thinking.
Those aren't the vendors you're going to be dealing with.
No. I'm just saying those style of solar places that where they get their energy from, the style of farm that they get their energy from. That's what I'm saying. Like
The land use involved?
and yeah, the land use involved. So that one option said solar, but not from you know, wooded areas was one of those options on that list. That
Right, and I'm saying to myself, but why you say, and I'm all for the wooded area thing's fine if that's what people want to do. But what if you use agricultural land to put
Right.
solar on it? Is that
Right.
okay? That's not a wooded area.
Right.
You know, that's equally as offensive to me.
So that boils down to a question of, would the committee recommend limitations on land use underlying the solar production? Is that fair?
Yeah,
Well, they've already been brought forward.
What do you mean they've been brought forward?
Well, they were in the examples that the committee brought forward.
Those are examples
were those?
out there. That's not examples for us.
no, there was something I saw somewhere, some document. I don't know where I was referring to earlier. Where was that? Does anyone remember? Did anyone else see that I'm just making this up? Or-
I remember there was this, and then there was like, these things aren't included. I don't remember exactly what the verbiage was, but
Yeah. And yeah.
I'm just scrolling.
I just want to make sure that we don't end up with a situation where we have aggregation. Everyone thinks that's a great idea, and we sort of slide in the whole no solar in the forest as part of that.
Got it.
That's all I'm saying.
Requirement.
That sort of slid in there and back door. That's not.
Okay.
I don't think that's a fair way to do it. I think I'm all for having the discussion, and all for having the town decide one thing or the other, or individuals decide one thing or the other when they're signing
Right.
up for. But I just want to make sure that we don't, as a town, sort of slide that
Limit
in.
that. Right.
Limit it.
Got it.
That's
So
my
it's the land
personal
use in
feeling.
question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a whole, you get into this whole can of worms, like, well, everyone's all like up in arms about building solar in the woods. Well, what about building it on farmland? I mean, that, now there's some farmers would argue that farmers are benefited by them building on farmland. I mean, so don't ask, it's one of these things where everybody has an opinion. And I don't know, it just could get messy, I would think.
Got it. Yep.
I think Eric, this is maybe what you saw. If you go to there is a slide, I want to say it's number 9. It has
okay.
the committee's recommendations, and one is to stay at the same rate. That it says you should be able to opt into the same rate, lower or lower rate. green energy that should displace fossil fuels. Support generation, and then another one, support generation of electricity while protecting forest and watershed. So I think that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
that
There were 4 choices. I know that, and.
Yeah.
it-
So that's
from-
3 of them listed here. And then
And
there's
it says those are committee recommendations, right?
Yeah.
That's what we were,
Okay, then let me be clear. This was in Nate's presentation. This has not been a committee vote to recommend those points.
okay,
And Eric, those would not show up as 4 choices to the electric purchaser. The deal is we're going to have 3 choices from any vendor.
Okay,
But your point, Becky and Melissa, is would those choices be limited at the outset
I'm
by the
concerned.
committee recommendation?
Well,
right.
I'm concerned that that third option where the generation of electricity from sources that protect forest and
Okay.
watershed,
We have a meeting this evening and this discussion is a point on the agenda. So I'll bring that up as a specific point to have that clarified. And if it means a change to those slides as a committee recommendation, get that straightened away too.
great.
Great.
I just
Thank
want to
you.
raise it. I mean, I know this
Oh,
this
it's-
could go on forever, this whole solar
Oh,
discussion.
but-
I suspect it will before
But
it's
that's a
all
good
over.
point. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah,
like I can see the green electricity one being, the other non-fossil fuels, whatever that might be, solar of any kind, and all that sort of
Right.
stuff.
yeah.
So-
I mean, even the way it is now, I mean, I get power from National Grid and there's an option. I think it costs 2 cents a kilowatt hour or something like that to green up
Green up.
your bill, so to speak. And when you green up your bill, it simply is non-nuclear, non-fossil fuel. It could be anything. It could be
Right.
water power, wind power, solar
Whatever is
power,
available.
anything
Right.
that's not those things.
Right.
And that's an option.
Thank you.
So when I get the letter prepared, Gail, I'll CC you on it when I send it out, okay?
Thank you.
So you'll know.
Okay.
And
was
I'm
there-
gonna, would it be okay if I change regional coordinator to the actual person that I'm sending it to?
His name was in it in mine.
was Mark.
Mark.
It's still there. I didn't take anything out. It says Mark Rabinski.
Yeah, but when it says dear regional coordinator, you want to keep it,
Oh, dear Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, dear.
okay.
I didn't even catch that part.
I know, slipping.
Okay,
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about this? Did you need any votes or anything, Gail? Or it was just
Oh,
really?
you're not ready to vote?
I
Doesn't
don't-
sound like you're
I
ready.
don't think so. I think Rita. we
And
wanted
without
more
Rita,
response
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We will eventually want a vote to support this, to get on
Sure.
a warrant.
Mhm.
But we've got time. The point of that is to be able to put information up on the website and through the community for information and say that, the vote's coming up and what the issue is. That doesn't happen to happen today or tomorrow.
yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. I have to move my screen. Hold on 1 second. I'm a little out of practice with 2 screens. The next thing on the agenda is,
The clothing bin MOU.
yes.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I have that right here. Okay, so there's an update on the location of the bin. Just happened today. I'm sorry, I'm searching for my letter.
It was going.
Just as a point of information, what does the acronym CMRK mean?
It's a company. It's a
Oh, okay.
company name. It's
Oh, there you go.
CMARC is
It is
the
a company. I got it
recycling
right. Yeah,
company.
you're right. I remember that, hearing that. Yep, thank you.
Yeah, they use acronyms rather than words now. It's a popular thing.
I don't know, it drives me, it drives me nuts when people write a letter and they use the acronym without, first of all, the first time you use it, you put parentheses and say what it is.
Right.
So you're reading some letter and like, well, I don't know what the RCJK is or whatever. I don't know what that is.
So you
whatever.
Google, you end up with 20 different options. You're like, which
I
one?
know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have the same pet peeve here.
Oh, shoot.
I don't know. Okay. The
Um,
location was supposed to be 032, right?
It is still 032, but originally the request from the representative was for it to be at the roadside, the road edge,
Okay.
as close to the road as possible. Mary Ann really felt like that wasn't the best thing to do because it would, while it brings in a lot of people off the road, and she was concerned that it might end up with a lot of college students just dropping off when they're leaving town, dumping a lot of stuff. So the new location is going to be farther up on the horseshoe on the side, closer to where the library demo is on that side.
right on
Not the side with the residents there.
Right side of the tree. The pine
Yes.
tree there.
Yes, that's where it's going to be.
Okay.
And my apologies, if you want to go on to something else, I'm not finding my letter. I thought it was right in what I sent you guys.
No, it wasn't part of that.
1 second then.
Okay.
I'll look it up. Okay, and again, it's going to start just with the clothing and after that, down the road, we will start doing, hopefully start doing the books. Okay, so that was.
When were we gonna start? I mean, we're gonna sign that MOU, but at what point does it start? Is it?
A couple weeks after they receive the MOU.
Okay.
So. Gary. No, okay. I have a printout of it, but
You can hold it up.
Here it is. This way you'll be able to read it.
Okay. Okay, all right, that's just that.
Okay. Screen share. There we go.
There we go.
Can you see it?
mhm.
So what's going to be written in here is the lot 032 location.
Where it says notifying MRK in the instance of dumping, does that mean they deal with that?
They typically do. That's why there's.
It does say above something about they will respond within 1 business day of any instance of dumping.
Okay.
Under what they're responsible for.
But
Okay.
as we talked today, somebody mentioned that our highway department assists us in situations of dumping, so she was thrilled that we would take some role in that. And so it's gonna be a balancing act. Hopefully, the location will minimize the dumping. Although Taylor really, the representative is concerned that a location that's not as visible usually heightens dumping.
Well, we could always install a camera.
Yep. Mary Ann suggested a sign that there is a camera, which should be the first step.
Of course.
That's a good, I like that one.
Yeah.
Smile, you're on candid camera might work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should say that. I
Yeah.
think that's a good idea.
We can make it fun.
You wouldn't believe like all the junk that's, I mean, I've been doing the library bottle recycling because David Moser's on vacation. I mean, people just throw stuff in those things like, it says all these signs saying clean bottles only, and they throw in
Yeah.
paper cups and tops of whatever, plastic tops of whatever. It's crazy. I don't know. It's amazing.
What a mess.
What a mess.
Maybe she should consider a sign outside that bin as well. Smile, you're on camera. Although they put it in a bag though already, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When I took it over from David last week for his, I made some signs and laminated them, said clean bottles. They weren't really, the signage is better now. It's still not perfect, but there was really nothing there for signs before.
Yeah.
So people were just sort of throwing in all kinds of junk. It's like I said to David, well, it doesn't say you can't. So what do you think people are going to do?
Right. They're going to take a chance.
Right. We'll see if
think
that makes
it's-
a difference.
Yeah. I think who's the contact name? Who's taking over the?
Well, today Mary Ann was getting her name on everything. I'm not sure who it's going to be.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure if it's going to be Mary Ann, me, or Gary. Could end up being Gary.
Well, it should be I mean, they're the one that brought it to us, so it kind of should be with the recycling and the trash and recycling committee.
Yeah, it's sort of, it's their baby, as it were.
It fits their description.
Yeah, she
And then maybe with a backup.
for the original setup, when they first deliver the bin, Mary Ann definitely wants to be there to make sure they put it.
Yeah,
right.
that I understand.
But I think after that, it'll be me or Gary. And I'm happy for it to be Gary, so I can type that in. No, I can't. I'll have to fill that in.
Okay. I'm okay with this. How do you feel, Eric? Do you want to
It
make a
can be Gary.
motion?
No, that's fine. Gary, I would think, or Merrill, one of the others should, I
Well,
would think
Gary's
should
on
be-
the payroll, so we have more authority over him,
There you go.
but he's also a member of the recycling committee, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he did bring in the whole project, so it's a great idea, and hopefully it's going to work well. And
Well, I think it's a
especially
great
their
idea.
ability, I mean, to have these places when we can't throw out in the trash anymore, to have a place where people can put clothing.
Yeah.
But it's also that this company will come and, like, if you call them and you have a whole bunch, say you really should have an estate sale, but you can't manage it, and you can get rid of household items, and they will come and pick them up individually. So there'll be an additional service to the community outside of
That's true.
this.
Yeah, we should make that known. So I mean, when we sign this, so that people know they can do that.
This came with a whole bunch of promotional materials that are already populated, and so the recycling committee will be getting those out to the public.
That's great.
Maybe
Yeah.
they should post them on their website too.
Yep.
Make them into PDFs and post them.
Yep, and we'll get some up here at town hall too, in the library. Okay, so
Okay.
do you want to vote?
Sure. Do I hear a motion to sign, can't see the top, the letter for, CMark Incorporated for the collection bin at 032.
So moved.
I'll second that. Any further questions or discussion? Well, you know what we should say as once the location's put in. Becky, you'll put the location in, right?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
All righty. So I'll have that ready for Melissa. Either you can sign when you come in or Rita. No, yeah, because she didn't vote on it, so you need to sign it.
Okay, I'll sign it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
If you can put it in my box after we're done, I'm swinging up to my grandmother's, so I can do it on the way by or the way back, one of the two, whichever is raining. All right, and the next item is we are at review job description for the admin secretary.
All right.
I already had a chance to do this once with the personnel board.
Do you happen to have it readily available, Melissa?
Hang on one second.
Um,
Hmm. Oh, wait, I did send it to, I sent it out the other night, didn't I?
Yep,
And what night was that?
it was Thursday, the 28th. And for some reason, I couldn't find the version you had sent. That's why I,
Oh, neither can I. Oh, hold on. Nope. Wait, let me refresh. Hold on one second. Maybe I've had it open too long. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't send it to myself. Why would I do that?
So you could find it.
Right? Hang on. Let me log in. I'll log into my other email account.
thank you, Melissa. I just didn't want to share the one that had no updates.
Oh, that's fine. Bear with me with the password because I don't quite remember. Hang on, I gotta go look at my password.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So while Melissa's doing that, this has this, what document, the document we see when we do see it, it's from the personnel board, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did they did some review and some changes.
Oh, well, that makes sense. You know, when you look at the passwords, well, that makes sense. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
And so the board knows I have an interview set up for Monday when Rita gets back with Eric Shaheen, who's a candidate for the admin secretary position.
Is he the only candidate we have so far?
Yep.
Did you say it was Becky?
His name is Eric Shaheen.
I think it's Shaheen, yeah.
Is it Shaheen?
Okay, let me see. Sent items. This email address will have it. Yes, it does. Okay, we're in business. Okay, will share it now.
Did I?
Share. Go. Everybody see that?
All right.
And I said I'd go through and fix my other things, and I haven't done that yet. Anyway, barring any format corrections there. All right, I'll stop.
I read it.
You know if you need me to move it.
Melissa, can you point out the changes?
I don't remember what they were. We had added that they assist you with the warrants. We had also taken a couple of bullets and made them into, just condensed them into similar ones there. Hold on. I think the main changes were down here. We reorganized some of this here. We added computer experience and Microsoft proficiency instead of word processing. We updated that verbiage anyway.
Yeah, that was the big
Yeah.
modernization.
We modernized it. We took out the requirement of a CDL driver's license.
That was a typo.
This one line here, there was two bullets that were the same, so we condensed it into one sentence. And we also did that. We did that down here too. But overall, I think there wasn't any large changes on this one, Becky.
No,
Those are the ones I remember.
no, I think the biggest one was adding the vendor warrants.
I have a question. There was something on the former description about building permits. Is that still there?
Yeah, hang on one second.
Yeah, all the permitting should
here.
have survived.
Right here. See it, Linda?
Yes, but there was one about building permits.
Oh.
Well, maybe that's not there anymore.
That was removed a while back, wasn't it, Linda?
It's on the old one that I have.
Right, but it was removed, I think. in
Okay, yeah,
2018
I thought
because
so.
of-
I just wanted to be sure because that was, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was
thank you.
removed in an earlier because it went
Yeah.
online and.
Yes.
And then there's this, Linda, there's this one sentence that everybody gets. Other assigned duties as assigned.
Yes, yes, yeah, yes, because there are,
Yeah.
you know, other things.
That might pop up. Yeah. That's in case we forgot to list anything, we're going to cover ourselves.
So, yeah, I mean, can you go back to that part about the license part?
Yep. Right here.
Handles requests for renewals of commercial licenses and permits, collects, records, and transfers, prepares annual reports. Annual reports,
So the alcoholic beverage license,
right, to the ABCC, yes. Yep, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it makes it a little confusing relative to the other annual reports. That's all.
yeah,
So, yep, I got it because.
Would it say better if it said prepares related annual reports? Sentence, no.
well, on the alcoholic beverage licenses, it's more than an annual report. I mean, handles requests for renewals, the whole renewal is more than an annual report. The annual report.
I'm
is
just saying,
a small
it
piece.
does.
It's just a tiny piece, right? It's,
Right.
yeah, it's just a tiny piece, yep. So maybe if it had a period after that, it prepares annual reports, period, because,
And then maybe say, processes, supports applications for the following licenses.
So you are the submitter of the the administrative secretary serves as the liaison for this local licensing authority, which is the select board. So you're more than the contact for ABCC. You are the person that submits the license applications. But we're really not the support person for the SAC, even though we do help them. They're responsible for their application. We are the ones that submit. Do you know what I'm saying?
So how's the best way to word it, Linda? Serves as a liaison?
Serves the local, just say we serve, the administrative secretary serves the local licensing authority, which is the select board. Do you know what I mean? The secretary does all the background, but the select board is the authority.
Yeah.
For all the licenses. Yeah.
Which is the select board.
Yes.
Finishes that sentence, Melissa?
It just makes it a little clearer.
I think you can just say serves the local licensing authority, which is the select board.
When you say serves, I think I might say assists or something other than serves.
Oh, okay, assists. Yeah, I mean, because the secretary does all the,
All the work.
all the
Right.
all the background work, getting everything in order for you so that you have what you need to make your decisions on whether to issue the licenses. So that's all. I just,
Oh, shoot. I gotta see what that is. What is
You might want that sentence to say it serves the local licensing authority or serves the select board, which is the local licensing authority, instead of the other. That's minor, I suppose. But
Which is the,
it serves, assists the select board, which is the local licensing authority.
my goodness. Typing is
tough
not
one.
my thing tonight. Oh my goodness gracious. All right.
I love writing letters by committee.
I know, right? We were doing pretty good at the personnel board and I'm gonna save this on.
you did great.
it's hard to type under when people are watching.
Yeah, all right.
Even if they're watching virtually, it's still hard.
Yeah, it's eyes.
True.
You know, the eyes are watching you. Okay, here, I'll take this away because some people find that annoying. Okay.
Great.
The
Anything
only
else?
thing I
Linda?
wonder about at the very top, the very first thing, I mean, I would think that one of the things might be to let's see, organize and manage select boards office on a daily basis, including such things. I mean, it seems to me scheduling meetings might be one of those things. I'm just trying to think of ways to maybe get things out of off Becky's desk.
You know,
A little
that's
bit.
funny. That's what the personnel board said exactly. They're almost the same words.
But that
just-
I don't find, I just have to say, Eric, I appreciate that. And that's where the vendor warrants are. I'm
No,
still
Becky,
trying to
let us-
figure that out,
Yeah,
but
Becky, let us add this.
the meetings, scheduling meetings, it puts a third person in the middle
Right.
Okay,
and makes it harder to do.
all right.
I agree with that. I agree. It would just
Okay.
make it more complex for Becky.
Okay, that answers the question.
Now I got those lined up. I feel better.
Does this, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't mind those. Those lines are just because I now have spaces where it doesn't want them. Are we ready to vote? Linda, do you have any more input you'd like us to?
I don't, but you can see me squinting at the screen, so like, yeah, good. I got it. Yep, looks okay to me.
Yeah, look, I think it's fine.
Oh, the last thing we have to put in is revised. Should sit on the revised bold line, we need to add July 2022 or August 2nd. Yes, that's fine. Great, thank you.
Did we want to bring these lines up like we did the other ones, Becky? Remember how we,
I think these have been
okay,
condensed as much as they can already.
okay, that's fine.
And it's confusing because it's, you only revise after you review, but it's kind of silly to put it in both places.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
That first sentence, that comma under the supervision of the town administrator, that can it be period? This position is supervised by the town administrator? Does that matter?
Well, yeah, it matters that it's under the supervision of the town administrator.
Right. That's what I'm saying is that we'll put a period after town administrator, and then it says this position is supervised by, is under the this position is under the supervision of the town administrator, rather than, I don't know, that comma doesn't sound.
Okay, make a second sentence is all you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Feels run on, and I'm
Yeah.
good at run on sentences, and it feels run on to me. Right. Yeah, I think that works better. What do you think, Eric, Linda?
No, I think it's fine. No, I'm a run-on sentence person myself.
Yeah.
I've just
And when
often
it jumps
decided-
out, I have
Oh,
to
yeah.
like, oh my goodness, I found one. I didn't make one.
It sounds good, but I mean, why not just put a period there and write another sentence?
Right.
It's really.
And it does,
Like-
it just makes it a little, I think it makes it a little cleaner there.
No, I think it does too.
I like that.
Are we ready to vote, Eric?
Yes, I am.
All right. Do I hear a motion to accept the administrative secretary job description as amended?
So moved.
Okay. Any further questions or discussion? No. Okay. All those in favor?
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Sorry, I just noticed a couple of things because I had done it late earlier. Okay, perfect. Now I'll save it. Becky, I'll send it to you once we're done.
Hey, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Anything, what's on our next thing? It is.
Town administrator updates, everybody's
Yes.
favorite.
Waiting for all night.
I know.
All right, so I just want to mention that we have had a few bumps with our trash hauler, but I think things are quieting down. We do have the new bins being delivered to the school tomorrow. They were supposed to be delivered today. They were removed on Friday. And unfortunately, when they went to remove them, there were 8 bins full of paper recycling.
Oh boy.
And I had tried to get everything emptied the week before, but they emptied cans, but they left the paper. Which I guess makes sense. So helpfully USA took care of our 8 barrels of recycling for a small fee.
Yeah,
that's
I wonder why I saw them on Baker Road today. They picked up my recycling,
Who did?
USA. Because they have a white, because Casella has the dark truck.
Yeah, the dark blue, I think, or dark.
Yeah, and later in the day, I saw Casella come by and do my neighbor's trash.
You're saying USA was picked up your trash today?
I didn't have trash. I only had recycling. And I saw a white, I thought, wait a minute, that's not the right truck. What's happening?
Well, that I have no clue on because they were here on Friday to pick up all the bins.
Yeah, a
Did they
white,
receive
a white truck picked up my recycling. And then a Casella truck came a couple of hours later down Baker Road. It's just because my office, when I hear a truck, I look out my office window and so
Because you can hear it for a mile before it gets to you.
yeah.
Oh, man. Wow, that's
Do
interesting.
we have recycling pirates in town?
I don't know.
Acting as a trust.
Maybe Casella had a different truck and it just looked like USA.
Maybe they did one of them break down. They had to borrow a truck from USA.
I did not see the truck today. I usually see it.
I was at
Anyway,
work.
that's just an aside mystery.
Okay. But, okay. All right, so back to town administrator updates. So there's another issue bubbling up. I believe I had reported to you that the person that lives next to the dam on the south side, I believe it, yeah, discovered he had his property surveyed because he was concerned about all the traffic through the edge of the property. So he wanted to know exactly how large his property was. And it turns out that whole area where Howie had been parking, that where we walk into the dam, belongs to the neighbor and not to the town. And he has posted it and put a trailer to block all except for enough room for Howie to park his vehicle. He has spoken with Howie and he's fine with Howie parking there, but he doesn't want it open to the public. So the next piece of that is a report by our police chief that the activity on the dam, like prior years, where people are bringing grills and having picnics and swimming and diving off the dam, swimming at the dam and diving off the dam, is very active again. I saw a woman with her, her toddler right near where this whirlpool is, swimming with her child over the weekend. And then there were children ranging from 3 to 7 jumping off the dam right there today. So the safety concern is again coming to the select board. And I talked to Donna just briefly about it. We've had this discussion at least 2 times this decade. And if the select board is willing, Donna has suggested that there be an executive session about it to really think through the best thing for the town to address these safety concerns with the police chief. So I'm bringing that forward to you, the select board, to see if you would want to do that conversation in executive session, or you have any strong reasons to do it in public session first. But that's Donna's recommendation, that we do it in an executive session and then bring it to the public.
But did, and you may not be able to answer this because you mentioned executive session, but I'll ask. Was there a reason that Donna thought executive session first was the best option?
I think because it would be, she thinks there is potential for a lawsuit. There's potential, like if we were to say, if you set time limits, if you don't just close it, there's, and you try to modify the closing because of use patterns, then it gets dicey. as
Okay.
far as liability is concerned. And she just wanted to be able to talk you through all those concerns.
Can I just ask what happens now? Like, so let's say that you just mentioned these things that have happened there recently. Does anything happen? Do the police show up and ask those people to leave, or what happens now?
Right now, like Kristen's response was to go and talk with the people and tell them about every other area in town where they could have a picnic, where they can go swimming, where they can, go to the state beach and jump in the water. And she highlights the safety issues.
Mhm.
She points out the whirlpool and, if anybody were to fall off the backside of the dam, it's horrendously dangerous.
Yeah.
And so if there are hours put on the potential use for it, if those hours are when it's dark, that can be dangerous. So there's just a whole slew of issues. And I know, Eric, you probably didn't come to that conversation, but Melissa probably remembers we had about 20 people come to that conversation when the select board had it a couple of years ago. Because there's a number of people that have been using the dam for years. And they've been doing it safely. But it's, some people like to fish off the dam, but it's when it's open all the time and we have this kind of dangerous activity, and it's heightened by the fact that now with the road closed on the south side, people have to go down an embankment on the left and then climb over the stream, and they're hauling grills and babies and all kinds of stuff. It's even less safe.
Well, not to get into the discussion right now, but what about having like restricted access, saying like you can fish there, for example, but no swimming, no grilling, no whatever we want to ban? And could you have a policy that made it so that people have been using it for years safely could still use it?
Debatable.
Mm.
And that's why we have
Yeah.
that meeting.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Becky, do you think the fire chief should come so he can let us know what the services would be if someone did fall? What they could provide? What emergency services are, I'm sure Kristen can pop it in too, but from a
No, I think that's a
perspective.
good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll check in with, I'm not sure, the problem is, I'm not sure if we can do this at the next meeting, but we'll try to work it in if possible. Because summer's ending quickly.
Yeah, but people
Right.
still in October.
It is one of those weird things, like people are using it safely, or local residents who've been using it for years safely, or even swimming, whatever, that they know there's a problem, they're good. I hate to ban those people from using it, but you don't want a 2-year-old to fall in the whirlpool and whatever. You just don't want that kind of thing to happen. I don't know. Let's think about that. Yeah. Stuff.
So we'll try to get it on for August 16th and see if we can't do that, we'll figure out what to do.
Maybe it's a thought of a special quick meeting with just that one topic, to add more meetings to all of our lives, but maybe that's a thought, just because it's kind of an immediate, it's more immediate,
Okay,
safety issue.
yeah.
Was that it, Becky? There's the clothing bid we just did, trash hauler, MVP grant. You sent another thing, a log in our stuff. I don't know if that was part of your updates. Okay.
So the two other things are, as you all are aware now, the MVP grant was rejected.
Mhm.
So the review of the grant will not happen until September. I talked to Andrew about, he's our representative for MVP. And he said that they are going through things, but in September, he would go over the whole contract, I mean, the whole application with me so that we can understand what our weak points were and if there were any strengths in the application, so we can realign it for another Bali in January. And then the
What-
other news I have is we are not going to be receiving a grant from the MSBA for the roof. They are willing to discuss the boiler, but not the roof. But as a result of that, we know that Senator Comerford is working on a substantial earmark for the town to help pay for the roof. And as soon as the governor signs off on that and we have final word, we can make that public. So
That's-
hopefully, so that's a good,
That's a good thing.
that's a good thing.
I mean, we're at year 29, right? In terms of that roof, aren't we at year 29 and year 30 is sort of their cutoff, right?
Yeah,
So I would just broach the subject of like, what if this is down the road, I guess we can figure this out, but I just throw it out there. Could we fix the roof not just the worst part of the roof and leave the rest of it for next year and apply for a grant next year for them to do that part of the roof? I'm just asking, I don't know the answer. I just throw it out there.
I guess some people might argue that we have done that by repairing the gym roof, because that's a big problem because of the leaking and destruction of the wood floor, the parquet floor. But there's been a lot of leaks that keep popping up all over the building on the asphalt section. So I think what you're saying is what we have been doing, like annually we have the roofer go up and try to do that and maintain. It's just because it was such a big political issue, I don't know what the public's appetite would be for that.
Well, I mean, here's my question. We don't discuss it now. I don't want to get into it now, but I mean, what if clearly we've said, and I think we've said as a select board that like, we want to save some of the ARPA money aside for this project.
Yeah.
We've made that agreement. I think we have anyway. What if we still save that money aside, or what's needed to be saved aside, we save aside, but we do, and I'm asking, maybe it's not even possible to do the necessary repairs, quote unquote. I mean, what if you did, let's say it's going to cost $350,000 to do the roof. Is there a way you could do $100,000 worth of repairs to the roof and have $250,000 that you could apply for next year for the MSPA grant, whatever it's called, and acronyms. And if that fails, then you still have the money from ARPA in reserve that you can still do it. It's not like you're saying that we won't do the roof. It's like you're saying we won't do all of it. You know what I'm trying to get at. We'll just,
Yeah.
is there a way we can do that?
I think that half stepping is a waste of money.
That's the question.
So
Yeah.
Band-Aids are not going to be effective.
I think that would be very
Yes.
difficult to do, because without stripping it down all the way and building it back up, it's bandaged.
Okay.
Bandages.
Well, that's the question. Yeah.
And I think
okay.
we've been doing Band-Aids for 10 years, and yeah, with Band-Aids, you never feel secure.
Right. Sometimes they really work really well, and other times it gets you a little bit of time and then, or not, depending on it.
Right. No, I mean, if it's a money waste to do it that way, we shouldn't do it that way.
But it was definitely worth
if it's-
suggesting, you know?
Yeah.
No,
if
I think it's,
if there's a way to do it where you could do it partially this year and make the roof good enough to get through another year. And then if they would actually sort of give us a grant next year, more likely, because we are at year 30,
Okay.
you know, I just throw it out there.
No,
We don't have to get hung up on it.
I appreciate your.
We could make some really colorful tarps and tarp it.
Right.
Rainbow stuff.
Maybe it's a bad idea. It's just a thought.
Yeah, no. Was a good thought. Anything should be discussed.
No, I think it's a good thought, and it's just then, okay, so then what do we do with our earmark?
Well, yeah. If we're gonna get the earmark, then that's a whole nother thing too, I guess. I guess we should just can this whole discussion so we know if we've got the earmark or not.
Okay. And, no, that's good thinking, Eric. But one of the other things that Joe Comerford is working on is citing the Shutesbury experience in a letter to the treasurer and to the MSBA about their lack of responsiveness to municipalities in the state.
That's good.
Especially small ones.
Yeah. Yeah, meanwhile.
We definitely won't get the grant next year then, so.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. Politically, I don't think we were going to be.
Do it early enough, maybe
Yeah.
they'll forget.
No, if they give us the earmark, I say write that letter and, slam them, but, yeah.
And then apply again, just for hoo-has.
Yeah, right. Good. Yeah, good point.
Okay, so I think that's all I have. Town hall is, COVID numbers are up, as everyone's probably been paying attention. We've been continuing to give away COVID tests at town hall, but not a lot. It's just like a few people a week. And I guess the next agenda items.
Yep, our sign the election warrant for September 6th. This sounds like a Grace Spanish. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda.
No, that's okay. Becky, were you going to say something about the list you sent around?
I'm sorry, which list, Linda?
Excel-
There was
the
a
Excel
list
sheet.
of calls.
A log sheet.
Oh,
let's
yes,
see.
I'm sorry. Okay, so
Thank you, Linda.
the still working on that one so Crocker has sent me a list of names so that I can help update our database. Our database has not been updated at all since we signed up in 2019. There's been no maintenance of our list. So as you know, with all the people moving in and out of town, it's horribly out of date.
Is this the code red?
This is code red. I'm sorry. Code red is a problem. The issue that happened the other day when I made the call, I got the call out at about 4 o'clock. Many people who even received it did not receive it till 4:15. So just in the timeliness of executing it and people getting notified, there was a delay. But then we learned that there were many, many people who are either not on the list anymore, who thought they were, or there are people that have never signed up, or people have moved in and out of town and we don't have any information on them. So I have gotten an updated list from Crocker and I'm working with Code Red to update our system. So the next time we have a test, the next time we have a reason to use the system, we hope it will function at a higher level.
Okay.
Thank you, Linda.
Welcome.
All right.
And now Grace.
And now,
Go ahead, Grace.
Hello.
You're here for the warrant in
The
September.
Warrant and authorizing early voting.
Okay. Which one? Well, let's do the signing the election warrant first. Although we have it in our packet. probably not too much we need. Do you have any questions, Eric, about? Okay, I'm trying to bring it
No,
up.
it seemed pretty straightforward to me.
They have a definite formness to them.
Yes.
I'm not finding it. Anyway, I don't know.
I'll look for it.
I got it. There we go.
No, it wasn't our packet. I saw it.
Yeah, it was. So Grace, you just need us to vote on this and to sign it.
Yep. And I meant to have the hard copy printed today. I'll have it printed in the morning, first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning for Grace is 10. So
Okay.
that won't make it for
I'm
you,
leaving
Melissa.
Right. I could swing by and do it in the afternoon. When do you need this signed by, Grace?
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe by the 7th. So there is one date for the election warrant. There's one date for early voting. I don't have my notes in front of me right now because I'm at home and I keep them in my office.
How about Melissa?
I can do it the next morning.
I can print it out if you can stop by tomorrow morning on your way to work. Oh, you're stopping by tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to wait for you, Grace. I
That
have it
works
so I can print it
brilliantly.
out.
And I can also make errands if necessary for this.
And
Well,
I
you don't
don't
want
have
to come all the, I mean, you came to Amherst, but Amherst College, but you don't want to come all the way to Springfield. I don't work at Amherst anymore. It's a little.
Do I
long.
have to sign? Do I have to sign this too?
Yes,
Am I okay with signing it tomorrow afternoon?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll still be good
That's-
then.
that's when I can get there.
But we've got literally a couple days of wiggle room here.
Good.
So just put a note or put a little thing that says sign here. So, you know, in my late
Yeah,
night.
so
reading.
I think we just need to vote on this and then we need to vote on
Early voting.
So
early
do
voting.
I
Yeah.
hear, let's do this one first. Do I hear a motion to approve and sign the warrant for 2022 state primary?
So moved.
Second, all those in favor,
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay,
Yay.
all right, so we can move on to the other, which is early voting.
Yep, so early voting, because we have less than 2,000 voters in town, we get to have it during 25% of my usual business hours instead of 100% of my usual business hours, which is excellent. So what I am proposing is actually a little bit over that, over the required minimum. What I'm proposing is from 11 to 1 p.m. So that's 2 hours, 5 days a week from August 27th to September 2nd. So that's 11 to 1 during weekdays. And then on Saturdays, we'll have 1 to 5 p.m. in-person early voting downstairs at Town Hall. It is a little bit more than we need. I think it is exactly the right amount to make sure we meet everybody at where they're at. And that's pretty much all there is to that.
Grace, could you just repeat, is it only on Saturday? Not Saturday, Sunday?
Right, only on Saturday. We need to have minimum 4 hours on at least one day per weekend.
Okay,
So, yeah. That was my idea.
Okay. So do I hear a motion to approve early voting for Shutesbury for the 2022 state primary?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
Yay! Thank you. Now I get the papers printed and then I get them posted. And now I get to figure out how the hell I'm supposed to, I have to post the early voting stuff before the start of early voting and then again in the middle of early voting. Do they literally want me to just take the flyers down and put up new identical flyers? I don't We're gonna figure that out next.
And you leave them up as a sustained posting.
We'll figure that out.
You could date stamp them when the new date comes.
There we go. We
Or
should
just
just have
flip
a
'em
stamp.
over. What?
Oh, double-sided.
Print on both sides.
Yep.
Maybe print one in
Yep.
color so the letters are a little different. Just flip it over.
Yeah, there we go. I'm learning that new election laws are really fun.
Yeah, I mean, not made by people who actually practice or put the stuff into practice. It feels like.
Your state government at work,
There we go.
you know.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
I think that's it, unless there's anything else anyone has.
Oh, I just want to say that Lenny is doing a great job as our new fire chief. Acting fire, well, I'm not sure what to call him at this point, but
Well, he is chief barring the negotiation and background check, right? So.
yep, which are in process. He was so busy, he hasn't got his packet back to Kristen, so we're hopeful she can move that quickly once she gets it, but she doesn't have it yet. But he has been,
Very busy.
he's gotten payroll done. I think Walter came in and helped with him, but he had really figured a lot of stuff out on his own before that happened, and he's really taking hold of the responsibilities.
Good.
I think he'll surprise himself.
I just had to say that before we adjourn. I should have said that.
No, it's good update. Good update. Okay, so do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, all those in favor? Second. All those in favor?
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Aye,
you.
aye.
We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Melissa, there's thank you notes in your box.
Yeah,
also.
I'll grab them when I go by. Yep,
Okay, thank you.
I'll sign them. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Right on.